today's Snack and Learn session. So we're going to talk about bringing applications that we use every day into our team's workspace, just really to enhance our productivity. It looks like someone took over my thing, but that's okay. We'll just keep rocking. So today we're excited to have, so Doug and I, we're both customer success managers here at Microsoft. We're excited to have our friends from Mural join us today to talk about their cool app. Hopefully some of you are using it today. We'll probably survey the audience here in just a few moments to see how familiar everybody is. But we are excited to have Mural. And as we move forward here quickly, just housekeeping notes, use the chat so that we will record the session, as you can probably see now. The recording will be made available, I would say, by the end of tomorrow at that Mural snackable link. What you'll find cool with this new PowerPoint embedded experience today, you'll notice that the hyperlinks are clickable. So you can actually click right on the slide and get to that location. Granted, that Mural snackable won't work quite yet because it's not up and running. Again, mute if you're not speaking, please, but use the chat for Q&A. We'll have time to ask questions at the very end. So if we can, we'll wait, but feel free. We've got lots of folks on here to facilitate the Q&A. Or raise your hand if you've got something pressing that you just can't wait to get off your chest. And I know the folks from Mural have some cool things to make this kind of an interactive experience as well. So excited to see that. And then I guess the last thing I would say here is this session feedback. So we'll share the link at the end. Again, we'll talk about it, but this is where we want to hear from you. Like, what are the third-party apps? We call them third-party apps. What are the apps that you want to learn more about from a Teams integration standpoint? We've done these snackable series every other week where we've had Workday, ServiceNow, Poly, a whole bunch of folks coming in. So super excited to have Mural join us today. Real quickly, you might be just asking, like, what is the Teams platform? Like, what does that actually mean? And so it's a lot more than just chat or your meetings that we're all using it for today. It's, you know, how you can connect conversations, documents, applications that you and your team are working on, and how you can incorporate and transform them and modernize the way that you're working today, right? And this just results in getting things done faster. So, you know, quick example there is you probably co-authored a Word document or a PowerPoint in our project team channel, or maybe you've transformed a manual business approval process with a Power App, or even interacted with a self-service bot to get your pay and benefits information from like a Workday or ADP as an example. So that's kind of how you can start to think about Teams as a platform a little bit. You know, and we hear organizations struggle to drive adoption. That's always really tough from a change management perspective. Change is tough, right? But we're finding out that customers that leverage Teams applications in Teams are increasing their user adoption by over 75%. That's a big number. Teams really allows you to stay in the flow of your work, so you don't get sidetracked. You know, you don't want to bounce around applications. Just stay in the flow, right? So we're not going to hit on a lot of these use cases here necessarily because Mural is going to share some great use cases that we're excited to talk about. So let's get into it. Mural, welcome. Thanks for joining today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Travis. And I will skip ahead one slide. So yeah, Travis, Doug, thank you so much for inviting us to participate today. We're really excited to be here telling you a little bit more about how Teams and Mural are a really awesome solution together. And with that, what we're going to do is actually switch over here. I'm here with one of my colleagues, Lindsay, and we're going to switch over and bring you all into Mural with us for this little journey. So I'm going to stop presenting here. And then, Lindsay, do you want to go ahead and share your screen?
I would love to. And hello, everyone. I'm just going to make sure that I'm sharing my screen properly. So bear with me 1 second. And I'm very excited to be here and share a little bit about Mural and about Teams. So let me know when you can see my screen. And I'm going to, little facilitator tip, I'm voicing over all of the questions that I'm doing so I can see Bentley reacting whether I am following or not. So can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Beautiful. And thank you, Travis. And
Awesome.
as well, and I'll just go ahead and zoom in.
Excellent. All right. So again, welcome everyone to this Snack and Learn. As I mentioned before, you've got two members of the Mural team here, Lindsay, who's on our Enterprise Transformation team, and then I'm on our Strategic Partnerships team. And you've got both of our contact information there as well, to the extent that you have any questions coming out of today's session. And then just to take a quick look at the agenda today, I know we don't have a ton of time, but we're really excited to take you through a few things here. The first is we want to just give you a very quick overview of Mural for those of you who may not be familiar with the solution or may not have used it all that much. We then want to spend the bulk of our time today sharing a little bit more about how Teams and Mural together are a really elegant and powerful solution for many of the use cases and workflows that you probably engage in on a day-to-day basis. And also give you a little bit of a view into where we're going to be building and improving the integration that we are actively working on. We'll share a little bit more about just some of the main use cases of Mural, and then leave a few minutes for question and answer at the end. And the last thing before we dive into some of the content here that I want to share is the Mural that we're looking at today. We will also be able to share with you as a link so that you can access this anytime that you want going forward. There's a bunch of resources that are in this Mural that we hope will be really helpful for you as you hopefully start to take a look at Mural and how that also works more closely with Teams as well. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Lindsay to tell you a little bit more about just Mural at a high level.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bentley. And I will mention that we do have the awesome chat here within Teams as well. So if you have questions as we go, I know that we only have about 21 minutes together. There are some other Mural team members, specifically Anna Linton from the Mural team as well, that she can help answer some questions in the chat if you have anything as we're going through. So like Bentley mentioned, a quick review of what Mural is. I think we'd be a little bit remiss if we didn't talk about what Mural is before you talk about the benefits of being able to use Mural with Teams together. As Travis was mentioning, I think, and we'll show a little bit of what the integration currently looks like and where we're going in the future. It's all about being able to stay in one space, right? And staying in that flow and having the most productive time when you're working. But what Mural is, it's a digital workspace for visual collaboration. What does that mean? Visual and digital collaboration. It's a place where teams can come together, and I'm going to show a handful of different use cases to explain the different possibilities. But it's a place where team members can come together. You can actually see with my little avatar and Bentley and Jim, we're here in this Mural together, and we can collaborate real time before, during, and after a meeting. So it's a cloud-based solution. And that's amazing, Michael. You'll see, I'll also kind of take a look at the chat too as we're going through. I love having these as interactive as possible. It's a cloud-based solution, right? So on your web browser, your Windows 10 app. So I actually have a Windows and a Microsoft device, and so I can use the Windows 10 application. You can also use it on iOS. I just realized you guys can't see me, and I'm talking a lot with my hands and showing my iPhone. And then there's also a view-only Android app where you're able to connect and access a Mural. If I am on my computer in my web browser right now, Bentley is maybe accessing the Mural through a tab in Teams, which we'll talk about in a few moments. And maybe Anna is on her tablet and also accessing the platform. So it's a web-based solution. We're here in a Mural right now. I'm going to zoom just all the way out so you can all kind of see that. So we're coming through this conversation. I use a mouse. And we can see this entire Mural canvas. And then we're in the different parts of it. So this is a Mural. We're here collaborating together. And if you want to learn more about it, like Bentley was saying, we're going to talk quite a bit about Microsoft and MS Teams and Mural today and some of the different use cases. If you ever want kind of a deeper dive into all the different features and functionality, we do a lot of live demos that goes into a lot of the different features and functionality specifically. We're not going to be going into all of those today. We would take up way more than the 20 minutes. But it's important to note, there's a lot of teams using Mural in a lot of different industries. We're going to talk a bit about use cases in a few moments, but we wanted to highlight some different companies that are leveraging Mural, but there's all of these are clickable links. IBM has been a longstanding customer for some time, and here are some different customers that we have public facing materials and case studies and blog posts, etc., all about it. Like Bentley mentioned, this mural, we are going to give you this link. You're going to be able to take these different links, and maybe you want to learn about how Emerson is using Mural to scale visual collaboration. I'm not only looking into this one because I was also involved, but when there are links in a mural, we can click out and see the actual case study and blog post. So we encourage everybody to kind of take a look here. You can learn all about it. And typically, if the blog post or case study has to do with a specific use case, we have a mural template to pair with it. So it's kind of like, okay, this is an interesting story. How do I do that in my company? There's some tangible ways in which you can then go ahead and use it. So a little bit about Mural. Again, this is a brief, little tiny bit about what Mural is. It's a digital whiteboard, right, for visual and digital collaboration with your teams, both asynchronously and when you're together. But Bentley, I know I kept in my 3-minute time. I'm pretty proud of myself on that one. Let's talk about Mural, teams, everything that we're doing together. You know I love these sessions. So tell me what.
Yeah, so thanks, Lindsay. So thank you for the overview. Hopefully you have at least a decent sense of kind of what Mural is. You can see how we're doing this together on a Mural canvas now. We could all be collaborating on this together. And what we're really excited about, both in terms of what we already have available today, as well as what we're going to be building for the future, is how the power of Mural can then also be brought into the collaboration platform that so many of you use day in and day out for so much of your work, which is Microsoft Teams. And so just to start us off, what I'd love to do, Lindsay, is if you could go down a little bit and share the video that's here. And again, this is to just give you a little taste of some of what we have and then also some of what we're going to be building between Mural and Microsoft Teams.
I'm going to stop sharing for one quick moment because I didn't share my audio with my screen share.
No worries.
Good catch.
Yeah. This is what happens. My sister and I both she works with Teams and at Microsoft, so big fan. So let me see if this actually works. I'm on the Chrome browser, so it might not come through the audio properly, but let's hope for the best. All right, can you see my screen once again? And hopefully the audio comes through. If not, you'll see the visual. Alrighty.
Awesome. So that hopefully just gives you a quick taste of some of what we are building between Mural and Teams now. It's one of our big priorities and areas of investment. But I also want to mention that a lot of that and a lot of ways for us to have those solutions integrated is already available today. So, we have a Mural app for Teams that's available on AppSource today. So we've included the link here. You can simply add it to your Teams instance and begin using it. And there's some really great functionality that's already available there that we see many, many large enterprises and customers of ours and Teams using already today. So if we go down just a little bit here, just to give you a quick overview of some of that, so the first thing is that you can actually take this entire Canvas experience that we're working on now and bring that into a tab within Teams, so that if you're chatting and working with a group of people on something and you want to have a mural so that you can visually collaborate around that, you can bring that into a tab and begin collaborating on that mural right there inside of Teams. Moreover, because you get notifications within Teams every time something happens, anytime someone makes a change, joins a mural, makes a comment, you're going to get notified of that so that you can really stay in the loop of what's happening on any of these canvases that you might be working on with colleagues of yours. And so really what this does is, and you can do all of that while also on a Teams call, just like we are here today. So it really combines and brings together all of those ways that we really know to work as effectively as possible together. And now it does it all within Teams. And then that combined with some of the stuff that we're going to be bringing out in the first half of this year, we're really excited because we think that's going to really extend the experience even further. And with that, Lindsay, I'll pass it back over to you for a moment to just take us through a couple of the key use cases that we see people really engaging with in Teams. We'll spend about 5 minutes on that and then leave a couple minutes for questions at the end.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So you can imagine that with something like a solution like Mural, where you have this blank canvas, right, that you can do anything. There's so many different use cases across different parts of your business. And I know that everybody kind of listening in today, or if whoever listens to the recording too, of, how does this apply to what my team does, what I do day to day? So what we've tried to do, and again, this mural is going to be provided as a little bit of a leave behind. A lot of different people use Mural, right? And use Mural in combination with Teams in the area of, from an industry perspective, in technology, consulting, financial services. And we're seeing it even more and more from a perspective of, like everybody here on the phone, right? Manufacturing, retail, consumer products, pretty much across the entire gamut. Now, what teams are using Mural? And I know that this is super tiny text, and this is why we're going to give this Mural to you afterwards for you to kind of take a look, digest, kind of mull into it. Across, from a product perspective, all across different parts of the organization of product, consulting, leadership, innovation, customer success and sales. We've worked closely with the Microsoft customer success team. That's what my team does here at Mural as well. Learning and development, also a big area where there's a lot of use cases. Since there are so many different ways in which people use Mural, that's why templates are so important. You'll start to see lots of different templates, and I'm going to go through a couple of the common use cases overall, but then I brought up a couple different examples to kind of show you how our team uses Mural, and it might kind of inspire different ways in which you might want to use Mural. So on our website, we have lots of different templates. Maybe Annika, you can pop in the template page on from our website into the chat. But a lot of different common use cases you can see here up on the screen, from product and agile to UX design. We see a lot from a design thinking and agile perspective, but now there's so many different everyday use cases as well. And so a couple of the ones that I wanted to double click into, because this is something that we're going to provide this mural, like I mentioned, as a leave behind to all of you, are 4 different kind of areas that I think transcend a lot of different roles in which you might be in your company. The typical team stand-up, one of my favorite use cases is actually just meeting notes. Think about, you might meet with someone every week. you can throw in all your different meeting notes, and maybe you actually have a conversation with them in Teams, and then that can just be a tab in your conversation, right? But my team stand-up is one of my favorite ones, operations dashboard template. And also in general, we have a lot of different workshops, and workshops are a large scenario in which people use Mural. And there's that team stand-up template. And you're also seeing how we can work together live in a Mural as well, because of Bentley, you can see him kind of interacting with the Mural. Now, with the interest of time, I thought I would maybe show you and talk you through the use case of my team using it for a stand-up, because that's also very applicable for using Mural with Teams as a tab in your team, right? So it's something that your team you can constantly go back to and use as a live kind of almost like a war room for the wall of your team, right? So this is actually the way in which our team does stand-ups. We use a Mural. This is what you could add as the tab in Teams. I'm just clicking over. And we have this structure and this agenda by which that we go through on a weekly basis. Some things we do asynchronous. So you can see kind of this async zone where the team plots out. So we have a team calendar of times when people can shadow each other. Again, we're customer success, right? So we build out a team calendar. But on a weekly basis, we go through our team meeting and we do this in Mural. We ask on Friday for the team to actually put in some blockers that they're having, and that's pre-populated into the Mural beforehand. So there's that kind of asynchronous aspect of being able to interact with the Mural canvas before, during, and after meeting together. And then during the whole conversation, we use our video conferencing, so you can use the Teams as the audio and visual, right, of having the conversation. And then we use the Mural for the active, interactive part of the conversation and the team meeting. So this is just one example. I know I mentioned a couple different examples, but I dove a little bit deeper into this one specifically. But kind of back to you, Bentley, in terms of talking about next steps.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay. And as Lindsay mentioned, there's a ton of templates here that I think cover a really wide range of use cases. But what I want to just share with you before we open it up to a couple questions, if you go over to the right, Lindsay, to the resources section that focuses on Mural and Teams, I just want to make sure the group knows, to the extent that this looks interesting, really just how you can get started immediately. So we've provided a couple resources here just that would be helpful to give the overview. Below that, there's a couple of links to just create a free trial, which you can do in a matter of minutes. And then if you go down even a little bit further there, Lindsay, there are some resources specifically for Teams. So we have a landing page to really give you an overview. We have a Help Center article to just walk you through the simple steps to actually connect Mural and Teams. There's the link to the app source app there for you. So again, from there, you can click and immediately add the app to your Teams instance. And then we've also included a couple links right below that just to our native Windows app, which really gives you a lot of other cool capabilities, as well as the Surface Hub app that we have as well. So you have a few ways that you can just immediately start trying this out and add it to your Teams experience today. And then obviously with any questions that you might have, as we mentioned in the beginning, our emails and information is available there for you to reach out to us at any time. And with that, I saw Doug come back on video. I don't know if we're totally out of time, but if we have any questions, we're also obviously open to taking those.
We got time, but I thought I'd jump on just to ask you a question as it relates to a lot of the group that's on the call today is here because they have Mural and they're also looking to leverage it with inside of Teams. You know, I know everybody's situation is different, but can you give everybody an idea of what it takes to stand this up, how much time they may have to spend, other considerations they should maybe think about?
Yeah, so in terms of actually standing this up within your Teams instance, is very, very straightforward. So as long as apps are enabled for your organization, you should be able to add this to Teams as an app. And then as long as you and a few of your colleagues might start to do this kind of around the same time, start up a Mural trial or use the one that you already have, all you're simply doing is logging into your Mural account within Teams inside of the app, and then immediately you can begin using these two solutions together. So I think the simplicity of actually just checking out that Help Center article that you see here on the screen to follow those, I think it's literally 2 or 3 steps to actually add the app to your team's instance. And then if you want to dive a little bit deeper, there's a couple of other articles to help you to understand kind of all the different functionality of the app. But in terms of actually just going and starting to use it within Teams, from what we've seen from a lot of our customers, is incredibly easy to stand up very quickly.
And to add on to that just a little tiny bit, because I think that's a valid question, Doug, too, is there's the technical enablement, right? And then also thinking about, it's that habit change. It kind of ties to what Travis was saying in the beginning, right? It's changing the way that people are working, especially, I mean, you're doing that with Teams as well. And that's why I showed you something like a little bit more lightweight use cases and a little bit more routine things that you might do, because you start to infuse using Mural with Teams, and it doesn't have to be right away the biggest use case, and it can be like a little bit daunting too. So think about it as a phased rollout as well. So think about, how's the team, critically looking at how's the team using Teams, right? And then think about the instances where it would be valuable to incorporate Mural, and then you're going to iterate. So I think it's important to think about those both sides, standing both of them up. There's that, and then it's thinking about how you want to use it, and you can discuss that as a group. A lot of teams, when they roll out Mural, especially with teams, they think about how do we want to work, and I think that's the super compelling and interesting part of the integration with Teams as well.
One other quick question too is it relates to a lot of the folks again on the call here may represent their IT organization, and their end users are the ones asking for Mural inside of Teams. I'm just curious if you can share any considerations, gotchas, anything that they should be aware of as they think about that. Lindsay brought up a good point about the end user behavioral changes, but from an IT, I'm going to go stand this up. Bentley, I don't know if there's anything that you may want to address.
Yeah, I don't think, Lindsay, are there any kind of gotchas that we'd call out? There's nothing that's really coming to mind off the top of my head. But what I would say is, the other thing, I think Lindsay's point is really a strong one, that part of this is kind of guiding you through the process. So if you are Mural customers already and you have a contact in Mural that you've worked with, reach out to them and ask them for help with this as well. We'd be happy. That's a big part of what Lindsay's team does as well, is help guide you through that. And then as well, if you don't, reach out to Lindsay or me at the beginning, and we'll be happy to make sure that one of us or a member of our team can help guide you through that process, and also answer any questions that might be on your minds or your team's minds that you're supporting as well, if you're from the IT organization, as you're thinking about, getting this set up and stood up within Teams as well.
That's great. Bentley, it's a great transition to kind of what's next. Travis, if you don't mind throwing up that slide as we're bumping up against time here. Really, again, we appreciate everybody joining us today. Travis put in the link, or in the chat, a link to a survey. We'd love your feedback as we continue to bring these to all of you as an audience. What are you liking? What are you wanting us to bring forward from an application perspective? And then as we go forward and think about how do we help you, we're very interested in, one of the questions on the survey is raise your hand if you'd like some additional help or support here, whether it's Travis and I or our peers, our CSM peers, or the Mural team here. We'll make sure that we're following up with you on how to best get this supported in your organization and how we can help you going forward from there. So from that, I know we're at time here. Please, I'll just say, fill out the survey with the link that's here. And then we'll look forward to the next one, folks. Mural team, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate you educating the group. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in the next session.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having us, everyone. Nice to be here.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.